Okay, let's break back up. All right. So, some part of the Red Sea here. So there was some really interesting points, some conversations that came up throughout. First of all, some people got ahead of the group, which is totally fine. Everyone's eager, right? I just want to focus on establishing a strong position and then move from there, right? We'll have the next 2.5 hours to talk about, initiating and moving from there, right? A common point that came up was some folks came up with positions that felt like they had a lot of structure or position or advantage, but actually went too far. You can over strengthen. So if I can get MJ over here, and Ryan, can you go, like we're setting up for Shisen, right? Like go weak. Like I will Shisen on you, so you are in a structurally weak, kind of busted long point. I'm lefty, sorry, I gotta bust you up, right? Okay, is Ryan strong or weak? Weak, why? Body is not aligned, his sword's out here, but he's over like the center line here, right? His sword is way too far out, right? Consequently, if I go do this on his sword, right? For those who can't see with the camera and everything, I am pointing off at like 2 o'clock. There's like this much space. Is this a good thing for me to do? Why? Yeah, go for it.
Because it's going to take you way too long to come back through that post, falling out of that, and that gives him plenty of time to either disengage or if he's just trying to go for a counterattack to hit you too.
Exactly, right? So when I want to be in a strong position, I don't want to be so ridiculously strong that I end up having my point just go all over the place, right? There was a really good question over here about trying to guard the low guard. Can you go into a fool's guard, right? This is not a how to beat everyone in KDF class, but if I try to go like way down here, am I strong? No, right? Because I went too far, right? There are ways to be strong. You can bar different ways like this. But the main thing is when we want to be in a strong position, right? We don't want just to be so ridiculously overly controlling our opponent that we're driving offline. What's the goal of longsword? Is for fencing. Don't get hit and hit your opponent, right? If I go too far into the don't get hit category, the logic wraps back around, right? So if Ryan is slightly weak, not as weak as you were before, right? This is a perfectly acceptable strong position. I'm just at his shoulder line, right? I've entered in, and if he tries to do something on this, well, I'm still probably gonna hit him. If I go too far out, then I have to like take extra time to do that, right? So be mindful that strong position can become weak position with our direction, right? So I try to hit my strike zone, which is Ryan's face and or body, with my point, so I can be aligned through like that. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? This proceeds into the other pair of the 5 words for Nach, right? So what does vor mean? Can someone give me a definition of vor? And name and club.
Mark Tagliero, Maryland club.
Welcome.
And vor, you said?
Vor, yes.
Initiative?
Initiative, okay, initiative, tell me more.
Like if you're in guard and you take the board, then you're going to take the initiative to do some kind of strike or to get your opponent out of his guard.
Yeah, initiating motion, right? Initiating action, right? How might I do that, right? Or what was I doing before that might be in vor? So Ryan is weak.
Or like you can, preparatory, like probe him.
Yes, I can initiate with my sword, right? This is a really important time to talk about motion and what it means in KDF, right? Because when we talk about vor, we talk about initiating motion, right? I can do a lot of stuff to get things started here. And there's good ways to do that and bad ways to do that. Is this a good, Ryan, go back into your weak position. Is this a good way to start? Right? Why? Yeah, excellent. Yeah, and we have lots of definitions for this. The goal is by the end of that class, is that we're going to be able to describe that action with German terms, right? In full detail, right? What is a much more reasonable thing for me to do? I can initiate action, initiate motion, right? If I initiate, by definition, Ryan is doing what? Yeah. He's reacting, responding, following. What word do we use for that? Nach, right? Vor and Nach are inverses of one another, just like strong and weak are inverses of one another. So if I take vor, people say seize vor. Oh, don't get me started, right? There's a whole rabbit hole about that. But if I'm in vor, I am initiating something, which means my motion initiates or potentially compels Ryan, right? So the drill that we just did was strong and weak. but it was talking about using strong structure or understanding or trying to do a strong action or a strengthening action in order to take vor or be in vor safely. Because if I just walk in like this, or what if Ryan's in a strong position? Go in a really strong position, right? Really aligned to start. How many people have been skewered in the face by Ryan recently? Hilton homers? Who's seen Ryan skewer people at tournaments recently? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, why? Because people will do this, right? Back to motion. Motion is a misunderstood concept in KDF because we think of it in a modern context. We think of it in the context of locomotion through space and time. I am here, and then I have moved through space and time. I've engaged in motion, right? Not to dump a bunch of Aristotelian metaphysics on you, I'll skip you guys the lecture, but essentially in the KDF philosophy, when we say the word motion, we're not talking about movement in space and time. We're talking about movement between changes of state, changing from strong to weak, changing from weak to strong. And this is really, really crucial for us to understand the rest of this 5 words work, including Indes, right? So, am I strong or am I weak? Weak, why? Yeah, Ryan is, I like that. Ryan is strong, so by definition, I'm weak. That's a fantastic answer. What else about my structure? Am I structurally aligned in everything? In the right way? Not engaged, yeah, and my sword is up here. That's not really in threat, right? I'm not controlling Ryan with my point up here. I can present intimidation through Vomtag, right? This guard, but I'm not strong, right? And I should definitely not be here in Vomtag. Why? Oh shit, right? Okay, so I'm weak. Am I strong or am I weak? I engaged in motion from a weak position to a strong position. And in doing so, I worked in vor. Ryan, by definition, by the way, what do we call this? Zornhau, the wrath cut, right? There you go, excellent, right? We're learning German, right? Right? This differs from an Oberhau. Why? Because the Oberhau is trying to hit to him, right? All hitters are structurally weak because I'm not engaging with the sword. Zornhau, right? There's many different ways to do it, but they're techniques, right? But I go from weak position to a strong position, right? So Ryan is strong or weak at this point? Weak. Who's in vor? So who's in Nach? You see how this all connects, right? So strong, weak, vor, Nach. We're going to go back to this action. We're going to rotate again, and we're going to go back to the same drill, and we're just going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to try and think through, okay, who's in vor, who's in Nach? Explore that again, right? So do the same stuff, but try to adjust, not try to over-strengthen, and recognize, oh, I'm engaging in motion. I'm going from weak to going to strong. And am I strong at the end? And is my opponent weak or strong at the end? Any questions? So we'll do the same thing. Everyone back to your spots. We'll rotate one. The mirror side will start by receiving the attack, being in Nach, and the wall side will start in vor, and then we'll switch. Ready?
Wait. I got this place from